welcome to another video. And before we start, please remember to like, share and subscribe, because I'm sure someone out there is in need of this information. So today we're looking at another CXC technical drawing past paper. This paper is from 2024 and it is building drawing option. Now as you can see on my screen, I hope you can see things clearly. We're going to be going through the instructions. Now it says that section 1, working drawing, do not spend more than 2 hours on this section. But we don't have to worry about that because we'll probably take about an hour to complete this section. Now it says that figure 1 on the enclosed sheet shows an outline of a line drawing of the floor plan for a single dwelling house, including the outline of the roof. Do not reproduce or draw the line drawing or the floor plan. You hear that? Do not redraw the floor plan that they give to you. This is what they want you to do. A, it says, draw to a scale of 1 in 50 the front, north, and side, basically the east elevation, to include the following. So on your 2 elevation that you're drawing, you should have a window and the door, so you need to show the position of those, the roof outline, the patio, handrail. Alright, and if you do all of that, you'll get 41 marks just to do the 2 elevations. That's excluding labelings and all that stuff. Just ensure that these are there on both elevation and you'll get 41 marks. For an additional 4 marks, you need to label the following component. Label the overhang. What are you labeling? The overhang, such as dimension, and probably say that that is the overhang, something like that. Label the windows. They say that that is the window. Probably the type of window. That's what they're asking. Probably could pop some dimensions on there. The door, likewise, you could say what door it is and probably pop some dimensions on there for 4 marks. Then you should show 3 vertical dimensions on each elevation. So 3 vertical dimensions. Now these dimensions could take the form of probably the height of the door, sill height from the floor to the bottom of the window, height of the window, probably from floor level to the eave, and probably the height of the roof. Yeah, so many things they could capture to get those 3 vertical dimensions on each drawing. Print a suitable title and the scale used on each elevation for 2 marks. This is the easiest 2 marks of your life. All you're simply doing is just writing front elevation and east elevation, if you want to call it. So north elevation and east elevation under each one of them, and then write the scale. The scale is 1 in 50. So you're basically telling you everything there. So let's get into things. We're at 3 minutes now. So let's look at our notes that give us a specification to our drawing. Now it says that standard drawing practice and conventions for producing working drawings are to be followed. Here we have the specification sheet. It says that height from floor slab to the bottom of the eave is 2,500 millimeter. So they're telling you the height of the building right there. Height from floor slab to top of the ridge is 4,700 millimeter. Height from floor slab to window sill is 900 millimeter. So you can use these dimensions as your 3 dimensions that you need to capture on each of them. This one here, the 2, this one, and this one here. Next we have window type. Here we have the type of window, so this is the labels that you want to be writing on the thing. So window type sash W1, here is the dimension. Window type sash 2, which is W2, window 2. This is the dimension. Then we have the door. This is the dimension. We have the height of the handrail. This is the dimension. And the roof, or the roof type, is a hip type roof with metal sheet. Alright, so let's continue down and we'll see some other information here. So this has a part B to it, but we're mainly going to be focusing on the elevations first. Alright, but let's do that part, and that is going to be in our first video. Then we're going to do this part for the other video, and then finally we'll touch on the sketching design in another video. So this will be split into 3 different videos just to reduce time basically. Alright, so let's get into things now. Alright, so my timer is there, so let's stop it here and then we'll restart our timer. Alright, So new timer starts, so the count up as is here. So as you can see, we have our floor plan that we're required to do the north elevation and the side elevation from. As you can see, it is already labeled, so you can see that this is the front and this is the side. So these are the two sides that we're going to be reproducing in our elevation. As you can see, we have our windows here. This looks like a veranda, patio, window, door. All right, and then on this side we have a little entry there. So that's what we're going to be producing. Now the first thing that I'm going to be doing, and this is what you should be doing when you get questions like this, although this is going to be, or this old setting is going to be in this exam, because it was done in 2024, so they're not going to bring elevations again. At least I don't think so, but it might. So I'm going to start by drawing an horizontal line, and this horizontal line is going to represent the ground level or the floor level. All right, now you would recall earlier when I was going through the instruction, it gave you some vertical measurement. So let's look at that. Now let's look at that. So it says that from the floor slab to the eave is 2,500. So let's work with that. So let's offset that line up by 2,500. So O, enter 2,500. All right, just like that, 2,500. Then we're going to be offsetting the other measurement that is there, which is the height from the floor slab to the top of the ridge is 4,700. So let's offset that. O, enter 4,700, and we're offsetting this one, which is the floor, up. So we know that the roof is going to be up here between this space, and the building is going to be there. All right, what else do we know? We know that we're going to have, it says from the height from the floor slab to the windowsill is 900. We're not going to be focusing on that now. We're going to be fleshing out our building view first. All right, so let's head into AutoCAD and let's do that. Now as you can see, this side here is obviously longer. If you can see this, obviously longer than this side here. As you can see, this here is 8,000 and this here is 11,000. So it means that our ridge, as you can see, is running along here like this. So we're using this outline here to mock up our little roof there. All right, so let's start things off. Now we're going to be working with the north elevation first. And how do I do this? You can see this in another video that I had posted about mastering elevation in a series of videos. All you need for building drawing is those videos in that series or that playlist. Nothing more, nothing less, and you should be fine. I'm going to start by first drawing a vertical line. No, up like this. It doesn't need to pass the what you call it, this line that represents the eave, the bottom of the eave. All right, now this line is going to be offsetted to my right each time as I go along. All right, it's going to be offsetting to my right. All right, now if you want to think about this in another way, think what if this was rotated? I'm unable to rotate it no properly. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to simply be starting from, because I'm assuming that I would rotate it, right? If I rotate it, I look at rotate. Yes. So we're simply going to be starting from our left to our right, and we're going to be offsetting some measurement. Now we know that the overall measurement here is, what is that? 11,500. So let's offset that 11,500. So O, enter. You know what? Let me clean up a bit because I don't want to have this haunting me later on. So I'll trim this away down here, and let's offset that. O, enter 11,500. All right. What am I offsetting? The overall width of the building right here. As you can see, that is it. All right. So that is it basically there. If you want, you can trim away here and here if you want. That is if you want. Likewise here as well and here if you want. All right, so this is where the building itself is going to be. All right, this is the building. Now you recall we have to do the side elevation or the side view as well. So we can do that as well. Now it would be the same principle. I'm going to draw it a bit off to my right here. As you can see, I'm just using dynamic tracking to guide my line. The length of these lines are random because it's not important at this time. Now we know that the overall width of this thing here is, what is it? It is 8,000. So we can simply draw the first line and then offset the other by 8,000. Alright, so let's go or enter 8,000. And this is just trying to make things as simple as possible. And then you just clean up your drawing. When I say clean up, I just mean get rid of all those unwanted extra line. So as you can see, we're basically 5 minutes into our drawing, and we have already pretty much flushed out the main side of the walls and all that. The only thing that is left for us to do is to add in the windows and the doors and all that stuff into this. Alright, now if you want, you can go ahead and add the roof to this. Alright, now how would you add the roof to this? Now you recall it's saying that the building has a overhang, or they wanted to do the overhang. Now the overhang, as you can see from these broken line here, this broken line is representing the roof. And as you can see, the distance where the wall stop and where the broken line is, that space between there, that is what is called the overhang. That is the portion of the building hanging over the portion of the roof hanging over the building, if you want to think about it like that. If you look at most houses, you realize that the roof does not stop flush on the wall in most cases. It hangs over, so when it rains, the water does not run down on the wall. It goes beyond the wall and then falls on the ground, just because the roof is extended a bit further from the wall. Now you can see here it says that measurement there is 600 millimeter. So what I can do is simply draw a line out 600 millimeter like this. 600 millimeter. There's various ways as long as you get that 600 millimeter. Now from there you're going to have your fascia board. Alright, now you see this line here. I'm going to grab onto this line. I'm going to mirror it to the other side using the center of this line here. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on this side here, or this view here, the left east side view, 600 millimeter. So I'm killing two birds with one stone, and that's the beauty of working with in AutoCAD and when you're working with symmetrical object. Alright, so we have that in place. Now let's check to see what the fascia is, if it gave us the fascia. So we're not seeing fascia on this here. Let's check the notes. Window, did it, hip. Let's check the notes. Do we have some notes? No, so we don't have any measurement for that. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to use our judgment here, and we're going to offset this line here up by 600 millimeters. All right, or you could simply draw a line up from the corner here, up, not 600 millimeter, 150 millimeter. 150 millimeter is basically 6 inches. Then you'll go across. You could use dynamic tracking to guide you, and you'll get that. Now you could have easily drawn a rectangle as well. The option is yours, and you'll be fine. So here, 600 millimeter, 150 millimeter, 150. All right, then go across using dynamic tracking to track that there. Alright, so there you go. We pretty much have the fascia in place. So the roof is what we need to draw now. But as you can see, our roof is a 45-degree angle here, but in reality it's not going to be 45. It's going to be probably about 30 degree or something of that sort, I'm assuming. Alright, because they didn't give us the picture of the roof. As you can see, our roof is somewhere along here, the ridge board. So we're just going to be drawing a 30-degree line from this corner here. Now there's various methods of drawing 30-degree line. You could use your polar tracking here if you want. Just ensure that 30 is selected, or the one with 30, 60, and 90. And you'll use the dynamic tracking. So that green line there is your best friend. So when you see that green line, you know that you're drawing a line at 30 degree. So you know you're good. Alright, if you don't see that 30-degree line there, then it means that it is not so correct. Alright. I'll grab onto this line here and I'll mirror it to the other side, because what? I'm dealing with symmetrical object. Well, asymmetrical object. All right, no. All right. Now from that, now we know that this line here, or this portion of or this view, you're basically going to be seeing a triangle from what your teacher basically told you. You'll see a triangle here. All right, so all we see is a triangle here. Now we need to find out where exactly that triangle will, the apex of that triangle will be. So what I did, I am going to be finding the center of this building here, and then pull my line up to where the height of the roof is. Alright, then I'll simply just draw a line from this corner to the apex, then back down. Alright, and then that's the roof. Believe it or not, your roof is finished. Alright, as you can see, we're 10 minutes into our thing, and we're pretty much finished with the elevation. Almost. We just need to add the doors, the windows, and some other stuff. But you can recall 2 hours. So I can talk for half an hour and I'll still be good. So you don't need to worry as well. Elevations are extremely easy. Alright, so let's focus now. So, looking at our night view, here. Alright, as you can see, this is what it will be. Alright, remember what I said, I'm going to be offsetting these pointer lines to my left. Alright, so I'm going to be starting from here. So this side here is going to be right here. And this side over here is going to be where? Over here. Alright, so it means that for every measurement that I see here, I'm going to be offsetting those measurements going across. So let's start things off to capture this portion here. So it is 2,500, so let's go with that. Offset 2,500. Alright, 2,500. Then from there, a bit further, it is 5,000 millimeter. So let's offset that. Offset 5,000. Then from there is the remaining, which is the 4,000. Alright, 4,000. Now let's just double check to ensure that all is well and offset that 4,000, because sometimes these measurements do not add up. So I'm just going to, and this saves you for, okay, so it's where it's supposed to be. Perfect. Alright, CXC did well in 2024. Alright, great. So as you can see, we basically have the corners. So these lines here are representing corners. Alright, corners where there is change in depth. Alright, is about perception. So as you can see, this line here represented by this line here, showing you that there is something going on there. So that's what it basically is. So as you can see, this is a patio, an open here. So you pretty much step in and you'll have all of this space here. So I'm actually representing the corners with those lines here. These are the corners. So we have this corner, this corner, this corner, and that corner there. Alright, good. Let's do the same thing on this end here. Now, what are we seeing? Now, if we were to rotate this corner here would be this side here. Alright, and this corner down here would be this side here. Alright, so let's work with the measurement. So we have 3,000. So from my left to my right is 3,000. So offset 3,000. Where am I? 3,000. Okay. And then from there, another 3,000. 3,000. And then the remaining 2,000. So let's offset 3,000 again. Oh, enter 3,000. Alright. Great. Wonderful. Alright, so we have those. So what do we need to add now? We need to add the windows and the doors. Now, remember, these windows that we have here are going to be elevations. Alright, so we are going to have to draw the windows. These windows are going to be based on the specifications. Alright, what are the specifications that shows you the windows? This here. Going up. Alright, and in the exam you'll have this in front of you. So you won't have any issues. Alright, so as you can see, one window is 1,200 by 1,100. So let's draw a rectangle, 1,200 by 1,100. 12,000 by 1,100. I'm going to go REC, enter. 1,200, tab key, 1,100 for the height. I did not do what I was supposed to do. REC, enter, click. Alright, let's go. 1,200, then tab key, and then 1100, enter. Alright, that's the first window. The next window, let's check on the measurement for that one. The next window is 600 by 1100. This is a big window, small in width but tall in height. Let's go. So 600 by 1100. So REC, enter, click, enter the width, 600, tab key, the height is 1100. Alright, now let's look at these again just to make sure. So it says type window is a sash window. Sash window, so we're going to be completing our sash windows now. So let's go. Now the first thing is that I'm going to do is that I'm going to be offsetting these lines inwards to show the frame of the window. Alright, so let's go O, enter, and then I'm going to be offsetting it by, you can use various measurement. I'm going to be using, you could use 25 millimeter for 1 inch, you could use 50 millimeters for 2 inch. Alright, let me show you what that will look like. Let's work with 50 millimeter and offset the lines in. That's what it will look like. That's what the frame will look like. Alright. Alright. Now what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to part this into two. So this is going to be basically two windows in one, because this is basically one. And I'll offset on either side. You could go 50, or you could go 25 on either side. Since I have 50 here already, I'll just offset 50 on either ends, but it's up to you. Alright, this one here won't have any. Alright, so that's what that will look like. Now for this one over here, what I'm going to be doing, so sash windows are, think about sash windows like fancy sliding windows. Alright, in most cases, well, in all cases, it's basically divided into two, and they pretty much slide. But opposed to horizontally sliding windows, these pretty much slides up. They have some type of mechanism where it allows it to slide up and down. Alright, I think I'm going to do the same on this one here. Let me just rotate this, RO, enter, from the center there. Let's use ortho for this. Let's click on this, EX, enter, and let's send those. Alright, yeah, let's work with that. Alright, so these are slash windows done and dusted. As you can see, there wasn't much to it. There is only two windows. So let's do the doors now. There is a double one and a double two. The windows, as you can see with the door here, let's look to see what the door measurements look like. As you can see, we're pretty much almost finished. Not even 20 minutes into the game as yet. Alright, so our door is 900 millimeter wide by 2000 millimeters high. So let's work with that. 900 millimeters wide by 2000. So again, we're going to draw a rectangle. So REC, enter, click. The width is 900. Oops, accidentally did that. REC, enter, click. Width 900. Tab key, I think it says 2000. Alright, wonderful. Alright, so this is our door. Alright, now if this is the door, assuming, because there's, how many doors will we see on ours? We'll not see a door on this one here. We'll see, well, window here, window, and a double door there. So we need to draw that double door. So how are we going to draw this double door? I'm going to grab onto this rectangle that I've just drawn, alright, and I'm going to copy it to my right, like that. Yeah, just like that. Alright. Yes, all doors are going to need some framing, so we need to do that as well. I'm going to draw the framing on this here. So what I'll do, I'll simply just explode this, just for EX. Alright, so let's, I think the shortcut was just X. Alright, so what I'll do here is that, let me just grab onto these here. No, you know what, let me just offset the 50 millimeters. Offset the 50 millimeters here to the side, 50 millimeters up, 50 millimeters to the side there, and I'll fillet the rest or the corners. So I fillet that to that. I'll fillet this to this. Alright, and I'll just simply extend this line to that and that line to that here. Okay, that would pretty much be the door. Alright, unless you want to add framing to the door to make the door look as have body. So depending on how you want to do it, you could fancy it up a bit. What I'm going to do to make mine a bit interesting, since I have the time, we're into 28 minutes, is to, I'm going to do some offsetting. What's that? I'm going to offset it by, sorry. I'm going to offset it by 8. Let's try 800 millimeters. 8. Not 8. I'm talking about 8 inch. 8. 200 millimeters. Offset. 200 millimeters. Or 200 millimeters. Alright. That's okay, but I think I'm going to make it a bit. Let's make it 600. Let's make it 150 millimeters. Yeah, 150 millimeters. About 6 inches. Alright. So I'm going to offset all of these lines. Yeah. Good. So this is basically representing the door frame itself. Alright. Now, once you have this, it's time for you to do some cleaning up. All am I going to do cleaning up? Let's just use the trim command. If you're using the new AutoCAD, use your due diligence with your cleaning up process. With the door, we're going to have that gone, this one in the middle to separate the two doors. Where am I? Yes, so we'll have this gone, that gone. Alright. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Alright, because since doors now are pretty much one smooth surface, unless we made it, then we'll probably have a joint here. Now they did not tell us the type of door, so we could say that this is a glass door. It's just in a frame. Yeah, make it a nice house. Alright, we can add our little not inches, but like the locks on here. I typically just represent it using a circle, because that would be fine. Probably somewhere in the middle or wherever, or you could decide how you want that to go. Alright, and then I'll draw a rectangle, REC, somewhere along here, and then I'll just position it accordingly. So I'll move this, grab it in the center, let's place it here. Alright, and then I'll trim away anything that is not needed or anything that will be hidden. Alright, so I'll pretty much do something like that. If you want, you could put it on both sides as well if you want. The option is yours. Alright, as well as you could add other things, but this is not a beauty contest, so let's leave it there. Alright, let's get rid of that in line in the middle there. Depending on how your school print your exam, it might not even see those fine details that I'm adding. So this is our windows and our door, nothing more, nothing less. Now it's time for us to place our windows and our doors. As you remember, we said that this end here is this end over here. As you can see, this column here has some little thickness to it. Alright, whatever that is, let's work with, I think I want to make my column a bit big, so I'm going to make it 200 millimeters. That's like 8 inches or so. Alright, it's the same treatment on this one here, because this column is the same as this one here that you're seeing. So let's offset that as well. Alright, now the height of it is going to change a bit, but that is going to be changed when we add our door and our window. Now let's continue, because we're going to be finished with this in the next 9 minutes or so. So let's add our windows. Now these windows here, as you can see, they are not specified where they are placed in terms of like dimensioning, neither the window or the doors here. So it is up to our discretion. So let's add our door, which is going to be somewhere between here. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to find the center of this, center between these 2 points, and I'm going to place my door there. That's what I'm going to do. So let me just draw a line so I'll have something to reference with here and here. Alright, that's where the door is going to be, smack in the center there. Let me just place this on my door layer. My door layer. Yep. Let me just group it, so just in case I need to make adjustment. Alright, so now it's 1 unit. So let's move it now to where it needs to be. Grab it in the center there and place it in the center there. Alright. Now, as you know, windows and doors are placed on the same height, or the top of it is at the same level. So we're going to be using that as our guide. So let's draw another reference line on this side here. And I'm not going to draw one on the other side because I'm just going to mirror the window that I placed here on the other side. Now this side here has 2 W2 windows. That's the small window. The W2 windows is a small window. So let's grab onto this and let's place it on the relevant layer. I think I have a window layer. Yeah, a wind glass. And I'm going to group it as well. So I'm grouping it and let's place it. Move, grabbing onto it in the center. Reference point is always important because it makes your life a lot easier. And then now I can delete this reference line and mirror this window to the other side using the center of this as my mirror line. Alright, so those are my 2 windows in place, done and dusted. We have other windows as well need to be added, such as 2 windows here. 2 windows here. That's basically on this side here. So we need to place those. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to, let me add a reference line somewhere across here. From this line to here. And I'm going to divide this space here into 3. So let's click on this line. Will this work? div, enter. Yeah, I didn't need to do that. Then I'll enter 3. Alright. Then I'm going to write pt, the p type. And I'm going to change it to probably, let's make it across. Alright. Yeah, something like that. Alright, and that is just for reference purpose so that I can add my W1 windows. Alright, if it doesn't work, then I'll probably have to use some other method because my W1 window, that's the large window. So let's place this on our window layer. Alright, and let's group it as well. Alright, so let's see if we can place the 2 windows. So let's move it first and see if they're spaced properly. Alright, so based on what I'm seeing here, will not be able to place properly. So what I think I might do, I'm going to divide this again, div. I'm going to, instead of 3, I'm going to use 4 for my division point. This should give me a better handling of what is going on here. Again, technique varies, and I'm literally just thinking about this as I'm going along. I've never done this before, and this is the kind of condition that you would be under. As you can see me making a mistake there. I moved when I should have copied. Alright, so oops, yeah. So let's grab it there and place it where? Here. Alright, cool. Now if you're unable to snap onto these, ensure that your OSnap feature that is called node is turned on. Alright, so once that is in place, we have no further use for these. Those are just to assist us in placing our windows. Now let's look at the other side here. So there is a small W2 windows in the corner there. So we're going to place that as well. I think it's close to, well, I'm just going to put it against the edge of this here for the W2 window. Alright, let's move, well, copy. Let's not make that mistake again. Grab onto it there and then just move it over, ensuring that ortho is on so everything is on the same level. So as you can see, our windows and our doors are in on this side here. We can do the same thing on our side view here, same treatment. We don't have any windows here, so that's blank. We don't have any windows here, but we will see a window here, a double one window. That's a large window, all right, right in the middle here. So we need to place that. So how are we going to do that? We need to reference and we need to find the center. So everything is on the same height. All right, let's see, dynamic tracking, you're misbehaving. Don't do me that. All right, so right there, and that will be a reference point to place our window smack in the middle of those, or smack in the middle of here, if that makes sense. So let's grab onto our double one window and copy that and place it where it needs to be. All right, so that is it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now once that is in place, it's time for us to add our railings. As you can see, we have railing along here, the entire length of the patio here. Alright, now you'll recall they gave us some measurement for the railing. It says that the height of the railing is 900 millimeters. So that's what we're going to be using, 900 millimeters. Now where is the railing running? It is running from where? Here all the way over to here. Alright, it is also on this as well, but we'll add that later on. So let's go and offset the floor level line up by 900 millimeter. Alright, now as we can see, our railing line is there, but it stops right here. The railing only covers this portion here. So here's what is going to happen. I'm a bit lazy. They did just tell us the type of railing that is being used. So I'm not going to make my life any difficult where I have to be trimming out things and covering things and all that stuff. Alright, so I'm going to assume that the railing is glass. Yeah, fancy. Alright, so let's add our handrail top. I'm going to offset down about 50 for the handrail. 50 is a good number. What do you think? Or should I use 100? Yeah, let's try 100 for handrail. Yeah. Let's go with that. Alright, now even though it's glass, it's not going to be one complete glass. It's not going to be one complete glass. Also, at this bottom line here, I'm going to offset it up as well. Alright, because it's going to be as if it is a bit elevated off the ground. I don't know, I'm going to do it since we do not have any specific measurement. Let me just eyeball it. So I'll probably put it there. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. Alright, and then I could separate it now into a number of sections. Let's divide this into probably a few panels, because based on what I'm seeing there, yeah, let's put it in a few panels. So let's divide this line div into, probably could work with 4 panels. Div, click on the line and enter, yeah, let's enter 4. Yeah, and let's draw down some lines from there. Yeah, this works out nice. So that's our railing. Now, how are we going to know that this is a glass railing? If you have watched any of my videos before, you know I like to do this fancy thing here. I simply do something like this, and I'll copy it. I'll copy the line. I'll put one up a bit and then one down a bit. Let's put this on our glass layer there, a wind glass, and let's copy it to the different panels, if you want to call it that. Alright, one panel there and panel there. Now for the portion that goes beyond, that is running through our wall layer or running through our rail, we're going to be trimming out anything that's between it. Now the reason behind that is that our railing that is in front will be blocking those. You will not be able to see it. Alright, so that's the reason why I'm erasing those. Alright, so that makes things a bit easier. Alright, let's just, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to what layer I should put the railing on. Yeah, let's work with that. All right. And again, let's add some thickness to this. So let's offset this base by, let's go 50. Let's go 50. Oh, enter 50. So things are slowing down now. Yeah, let's see if we offset it up like this or down. All right, let's do that. And then now we do the same thing like we did above, and we trim what needs to be trimmed. So here, I could have sort of activated trim. TR enter. Yeah, now it's good. All right, let me just come here, click, and then move my cursor all the way through. Oh, yeah, something like that. All right. But as you know, we're not going to have it not supported in any way, shape, or form here. So what are we going to be doing? You see where we have these lines here? What I'm going to be doing, let me just, how can I do this? How can I do this? Let me offset 12 on either side. Now I'm getting carried away with how this is supposed to look. Alright, yeah, let's work with that there. Let's keep the middle line for a little while because we might need that in the future. And let me just extend lines down to the ground as well, starting from here. You know what? Let's extend it all the way down to the ground for support. Alright, yeah. And now I can just grab onto these outer lines like this. And then, what am I going to do? Alright, so I'm going to grab onto those two lines and I'm going to copy them. I'm going to copy them. So CP, enter. My baseline or my base point is going to be in the center, somewhere there. And I'll simply place it here and here. Is there another one? No, that's all. All right. And then now can now erase the center line. Erase the center line. And how am I going to do this? Should I break it here? Yeah, let me just I'm gonna keep it there. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it there like that. Alright, I'm going to keep it there like that. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be doing. If you decided to use rail, it's up to you. The option is totally yours. Yeah, as you can see, this portion here is blocking it, so we can erase this from in here. Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Let's match some properties. So this is a part of the rail. Alright, so at least all of that will be on one line waiting and everything. Alright, so that is that portion there. If you wanted, you could also, you see this line here, you could copy it and place it probably here as well if you wanted to. Alright, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, like that. And likewise on this side here as well. Not like you're going to be getting marks. Alright, so as you can see, that is it right there. Alright, this view pretty much done. Nothing more needed to be done for this view here. Not a thing more. Alright, unless you want to put the step. Is there a step? Yeah, one step. Alright, so for the step, all you need to do is probably draw a line down here, going down by 11, not 11, what am I doing? 250 millimeter, and then you could go across probably like 300 or so. Alright, and then you go back down, I don't know, 250 again. It's up to you. Alright, and that will be basically the step. Alright, if you want to think about it like that, because as you can see there is a line here, so it means that the level changes. You step down onto the step. Alright, so that's what it will look like from the side. Now let's finish this view here. So we have the window already in. The only thing that is missing here, yeah, one more thing to do on this side here. I'm going to touch on it in a bit. On this side here, what is missing? So on this side here, we're going to have the step. Alright, so we're going to have the step. The height of the step is, as we use 250. So let's offset 250 down here. And then I'll just draw a line down. Let me double check. Yeah, it's all the way. Well, not all the way. Yeah, it's all the way down to here. And I'll just, yeah, and I'll just draw a line down here. Alright, everything beyond this point can be trimmed away. Not really necessary. Alright, so that is it right there. There is a railing along here. Alright, so it's the same treatment as what is over here. So let me just, oh my goodness, let's copy this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this, and I can easily just make adjustment accordingly. So I'm going to be copying this. I'm going to be copying this to my left and place it to my right here like this. Okay, and then now anything beyond this line I'll trim it away. Alright, I can offset this line here in by 50 or more. Let's offset it by 100, because since it is going to be freestanding by itself, it's going to be more like a baluster. And once I have that in place, I can just trim what needs to be trimmed, such as everything above this line here, and probably here. Alright, maybe I will want to break this in the middle somewhere to support all of that. And I don't know, it doesn't really even matter at this point. Offset 50. And then, yeah, that will be pretty much it. If you want, you can move this a bit closer in the middle, or maybe you could have two. This is just to kind of indicate that this is a glass panel. Alright, so that will be it there. Nothing else in the background that I would have seen here. Not a thing. It would stop here. We have the step in place already. This wall here is blank and nothing is there. So that's pretty much the elevation. The only thing that is left now is for us to add. As you know, the veranda or the patio area does not go all the way to the fascia board. Now typically the height of it, or the height of the openings are normally whatever the window height and all that stuff is. So what I'm going to be doing is simply draw a line from this end here, just to make things a bit simpler, all the way over to this end here. Alright, so it means that this is like one beam, or the top part of a wall, that is running all the way across. Alright, so it means that if it's running all the way across, you would not be able to see this portion of the wall that is behind it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to simply be trimming away what is above it like this. I could do the same here as well. Alright, I could do the same thing there and here as well. Now when I trim away here, it is saying that all of this here is on one level. All of this here is on one level. Alright, that's what it is saying. Everything there is flat. Alright, so let me go ahead and copy this or match this property. to this one here. Now it's going to be the same exact treatment on this side here, same exact treatment, where again same height of the windows and the door, so going all the way across like this. All right, and then I can trim or fillet above the line, so I'll get rid of that and here. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So what that is saying that all of that here and there is as if it's a break in the walls. I think about this, we cut out an opening in the wall and it is blocking everything in the background there. All right, so that is what that will look like. Now we're pretty much done and dusted here. No, I'm not going to make this video go beyond an hour, all right, because it's not really necessary, but I'm going to go a bit all out a bit more just to solidify this here. Remember, it says that we need 3 dimensions on each of them. What dimensions are we capturing? Let's put on some dimensions. So let's go to our dimensioning layer, ADIM. Let's go here. What am I capturing? From here to probably here, I don't know. All right, I could probably capture the fascia as well, but it didn't ask that, it asks a vertical dimension, so let's add that. Dimensions from ridge to the bottom of the fascia, basically just capturing the dimensions that they gave us. Dimensions from the sill to the floor level, 900 millimeter, which is about 3 feet. All right, you could capture openings, it's up to you. So we have from here to here, as you can see. All right, you don't really need anything more. All right, same thing on this side here. You just replicate what you did on this side here. 3 vertical dimensions. So we're capturing opening, we're capturing height of the roof from, and I'm just doing this over here to here. All right, what else can we capture here? We can capture sill height as well here if you want, or you can capture, yeah, the handrail to make things a bit simple. So there's so many dimensions that you can capture, but you don't need a lot. They said 3. All right, so as you can see, it's pretty much done. Anything you're going to be adding to this now to get more marks is the title. So you can add your title. You don't need to go all fancy by finding title. Just use your multi-line tool and do something like this. And just write, come on, side elevation. I hope I spell it right. And then you write scale. Scale is 1 in 50. All right, now I'm not sure how this is going to look, a bit small. So let me increase the size to, let's work with 150. Can't go wrong there. Is that really 150? Yeah, 150. And I like to make the text or the scale half the size of whatever the title is. So it will be 75. All right, this is 75, no? 75. All right, just like that. And I like to orient to my right, just like that. Side elevation. If you want, you could put east, and once you do that, you'll get your marks right there. All right, and let me just copy this to my side there, and they said that this is the front. I believe they said it's the front, so let's go front. Yeah, front. So open this out a bit. All right, so as you can see there, it is pretty much done. Now there's more things you could do to make it look a lot better than what it is here, such as hatching the roof using, now it says it is, what type of roof was it? Let me double check. Roof hip metal sheet. All right, so we want something that looks like corrugated metal sheet. So let's see if we can find something just to kill some time. I'm going to use this. Alright, it looks a bit like standing seam. I'm going to use this. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to be oriented. Let's change this the scale of this. Let's go 150. Yeah, not that's too much. Let's go 20. Yeah, this can work. And the angle, I'm going to rotate it 90 degree. No, that's not 90, that's 45. I was not paying attention. So something like that. That's what the standing seam roof will look like. That metal standing seam roof. Alright. Same thing here. Let me go with that and enter. And add it here as well. Alright, so that will be a roof. I'm going to be a bit fancy with my floor level. My ground level as well. So let's start here. Let me turn off ortho. And I'm going to be a bit wavy. Undo a bit. Alright, so here, once I have this, I'll just extend this line down to touch it. Alright, so that's the ground level. You see this line here that represents the floor level. Alright, this line here, for here you don't need to make it that, but for this side here, so what I'm going to do, let me just grab onto this and put it here, and then I'll just redraw this line here. Now this line here, which one of these is stretching away? Where does this green line come from? Oh, okay, this line here is going to be an in detail line. So I have a layer that I call A floor that shows the floor level. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one here. But here is going to be a bit different. It is going to stop. So the portion that I'm going to delete now, that's where it's going to be. So I'm going to go on that layer, A floor. I'm going to join those to represent the floor level. Oh, and I recall them saying that we need to label these here, so I'm going to be labeling them as well. You could use whatever tool. I'm going to be using leader. What is this called? It is called, the window is called sash W1 window. Sash W1. So let's write that. Sash W1. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. That's not sash W1 though. It is yeah, that's W1. This is sash W1 as well. Alright. This is sash W2. So I'm going to label sash W2. So I'm going to add that there. Oh, and they said label door. I believe they did. So this is W2. So let me just write W2 in this. Sash W1. Sash W1. And for the door, did they say? Now I'm just going to put double door. Double door. Glass. Double door. Alright, so that's my glass double door. Alright, just to make things a bit interesting, let me put the text outside where things are a bit clearer. Alright, no, I'm sure I have some annotation there or something of that sort where I can put all of that on. Yeah, so let's match some properties. Alright, so yeah, so we should be there for the hour. So remember, you have a lot of time remaining. And in the next video, I'm going to be touching on the other portion. Oh, let me just fancy up this one as well with my squiggly thing. The drawing file for this will be linked in the description. as usual if you have seen any of my vids before, as well as the question. Here, let me grab onto this, extend, EX, enter, extend that down, extend that down, yeah, make this solid. Alright, so that things look a lot better. Alright, now you can add other labels as well, you know, to say that this is, and I'm going to write it, FFL, finish floor level, and I can copy it and place it here. Here. Alright. Finish floor level. Alright, yeah, you don't need to do anything more than that. Let me just double check on the question before we go. Window, doors, and all that stuff. Patio, and rail, all of that place. So that's 41 there. Label the following: overhang, window, door. Alright, so I believe it's, yeah, I think we should go ahead and label the overhang. Alright. Using this, I'm going to say that this is 600 mm overhang, and I'm going to be putting it on both of them. Alright, please remember to lay out your drawing as well before we go. I should demonstrate how to label drawing. Alright, so double check again. 3 vertical dimensions on each elevation. Yes, we have that. The suitable title, and the scale. Yes, we have that as well. Roof outline, we do have that. Patio and handrail, yes, we do have that. Yeah, we pretty much have everything here. Yeah, we're finished. All right, to lay out the drawing, I have mine already set up. All right, the drawing template is in, yeah, I'm going to place the drawing template in the description as well for you. Here is everything all set up. All you need to do, maybe you'll have to explode this. Maybe you'll have to explode this. All right, to make things a bit better for you. And you simply just change, let me just see if I can, yeah, explode it and change whatever is inside here. So change whatever is inside here, and you could use it for your exam. All right, everything is already set up inside here. All you need to do is double tap. Once you double tap, zoom out a bit. If you're not seeing your drawing, you can always type zoom all to find it. All right, please put each one of the drawings on a single paper by itself. So let's see what the scale will look like in the 2 minutes that we have remaining. Scale is 1 in 50. Put that there, go out of my way. Scale 1 in 50. That's what 1 in 50 looks like. Alright, cool. Alright, so you'll have 1 on one page. For the other page, all you need to do is just simply right click on this, move copy, select the one that is there, click on this one, that, ensure that that is selected, okay, and you'll get another copy there. All you need to do is name them. Go here, and then you probably pan to the left of it. Alright, like that. Alright, and everything will be good. Alright, now if you realize, let me just double check to ensure that all is well. Double tap. Alright, let me see. Go here. Alright, so all is well and all is good. This is what it will look like. Just ensure that all the dimensions are visible and all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and see you in another one. Please remember to subscribe, and see you in the next video that looks at the other portion of this exam here. Bye bye and take care.